Good afternoon everyone, I'm back out here in the woods. I've got my dog Jax with me and I've got a very heavy but durable traditional waxed canvas backpack, and actually I've got loads of kind of traditional gear with me. It's a beautiful autumn day, temperatures are fairly mild, still in the double figures in Celsius. The leaves have started to turn yellow and orange and they're starting to fall to the floor, and I'm going to do a bit more of a traditional camp really, with some more traditional items and the odd modern bit in there as well. I've also got this small really traditional looking stove down here with me, and I'm going to set up a shelter first, I think. Hopefully it doesn't rain, but it's Britain and it tends to rain at some point in the day. It feels such good quality. Ah, Jax. I think it's 3 by 3 meters. It's from Bushcraft, Spain. These wax canvas tarps have been around a long time, quite a few years now. But the guys at Bushcraft, Spain make some really incredible handmade traditional leather, wool items, canvas, waxed canvas, and I've been wanting one for such a long time, but I never got round to actually getting one. I finally got one, and I'm really impressed so far. Really good quality. But let's try and make some sort of shelter from it. So I've got 3 hanks, or large hanks of waxed twine, waxed rope. It absolutely stinks where it's been waxed, but this is for the tie-up points of the tarp. But because it's got so much wax in it, it's kind of impregnated with it, I reckon it would also be good for fire lighting as well. I don't know how long each one is. It looks like it's a really kind of good fair amount. Probably maybe 5-6 meters. Okay, a lot longer than that. But I'm gonna I don't need all that, so I'm gonna cut some up and just make a bit of a frame. Maybe 1, 2. The other items that I got from Bushcraft Spain is this waxed canvas and wool, so wool on one side, waxed canvas on the other, and it's basically like a 1/2 metre by 1/2 metre square. So it could be used for kneeling, sitting. You could fold it in half and use it for kneeling down in the winter. You don't want to get your knees wet when lighting a fire, etc. But I'm going to use it for a little bed for Jax. Lie down. Lie down. Good boy. Is that nice? Oh, that's comfy. So this is a really interesting piece of kit that was sent to me by the guys at Winterwell. It's their cast iron camping cooker stove, and it's based on the traditional late 19th century sad iron stoves, or the stoves, the cast iron stoves that were used to heat up the sad irons, which were used to iron out the creases in clothing. It's a bit like our modern day irons, which are electric. Back then, pre-electricity, they had small iron stoves like these that would heat up the iron on the top here, and then you'd use that iron to push on the creases of your clothes and get the creases out. And this is their kind of take on it, but in a more camping orientated angle, which I quite like. So it's got these mica windows, which is just here. They're not glass, it's like a material that's very heat resistant, but it's almost like plastic really, but it's very delicate. And then there's the reservoir down here. This is just pops off. It's got a rubber
O-ring there to seal it. This is where you put your fuel in. It's about 600 millilitres I think it can take. It can take kerosene or paraffin. I've put kerosene in there, which means it's slightly more smoky than paraffin, unfortunately. It's all over my hands. It's kind of gone everywhere as I've carried it up. And on the back here, there's this little thumb lever, and that releases the catch, which allows you to fold the top section of the stove back and expose the wick, and that is the wick there. And I can use this here, this little wheel, and you can see the wick is coming up. That has been soaking in the kerosene for well over half an hour. They say about half an hour. So I will light that, bring it down, a bit like your paraffin lanterns really that we use, the traditional ones, which I have got here actually in the woods in my bag, a small one. And then once that's lit, you close it like that, lock it in place, and then you get a nice view of the flame as well. And then they did have a cast iron section that goes on here, like a griddle where you can cook your steaks on and stuff. I don't have that. I've just got the kind of standard stove. It also does have a carry case with it, but I just carried it up in the box. I didn't have the carry case, I just carried it up in the box that it came with. But I really like the traditional design of the box too. Very cool. So we're going to light it with another cool piece of kit that I want to show you guys. Getting nerdy now. This is, wait for it, the Stealth Fire Steel. This is very, very cool. So cool, in fact, that I'm now stocking these on the TA Outdoors website because they are just too good. I really like these. Let me show you how I use it. This is by the guys at Forest Fundamentals, UK-based company. This is their fire steel. They have really good fire steels. The material they use, or the composition of the metals they use, if I show you, they just produce such a good spark. Hot, bright, plenty of sparks. Turn it around that way. It's really good. Definitely some of the best that I've used. Anyway, this is not the coolest part. In here there's this hole at the bottom where the fire steel just sits in the top there. And then underneath there's this hole, and you can feed through this jute twine like this, and you've got tons of it. You can put as much as you want. In fact, I probably could fit that, the same stuff that I've got with the Bushcraft Spain thing. But what you do is you use the striker and you just mash up the top of the twine to just expose the, because it's waxed, so you want to expose the fluffy material inside. That top section fluffed up, I can still move it in and out. And there you go. Look at that. Now that can burn for ages and ages. So if it's pouring with rain, I can just keep my body over it, let it burn, light my kindling, and then when I want to put it out, I just pull it through this tube and it extinguishes, ready to be ignited again. I mean, that is so clever. So simple yet so clever. I really, really like that. Say for example I want to light it again. I just mash up tip section again, like that. Curve it up if you want towards the striker. There you go. First time. It is really cool, honestly guys. For beginners and advanced bushcrafters, it's just a very good piece of kit, which is why I'm stocking them on toutdoors.com. I am intrigued to see how this works. I really have never used it before, or anything like this really. It's very unique. Let's see what happens here. Hopefully I don't ignite myself. It definitely was kerosene that I put in. Let's make sure it's on flat ground and see if it works. Oh, we have ignition. Now we want to turn that down. Turn that over. Wow, that is awesome. That is so cool. Look at that. Let me turn the screen down so you can see the brightness. That is absolutely awesome. Oh, we're burning a bit hot. The wick is not very even, but that's my fault. Oh man, that's so cool. I really like that. Look at that. So the wick, I needed to get even a bit more to get it across here, but that's okay. I can do that at home. I really like that. That's so cool. What do you think, Jax? Hey, oi. There we go. This is where it's great because you can just hold it there for ages. Let these curls catch. And let that fire get established. And it barely burns any rope as well because it's waxed. Like, that's ready to go now. Put it out. Good to go. It's even quite cool after putting it out straight away. Then I just wrap it up like that and put it back in my fire lighting kit. We're away. Boiling. think it's time we start getting some things ready for food. Gonna need that. I was up a couple of potatoes. I don't have to peel them, but I'm going to peel them anyway. Bit harder without a potato peeler, but we'll just use a knife. These Winterwell stoves, cast iron stoves, burn for 5 hours. I guess if they're on low, which is quite impressive. Just going to thinly chop these into cubes. The smaller they are, the quicker it will all cook. This dish should take pretty much 40 minutes to an hour. Next up, onion. And a leek, because we are making, if you haven't guessed already, potato, leek and onion soup. One of my favourites this time of year. We've got a lovely bloomer bread. It's gonna be a good one. There we go. Would normally let that burn down a little bit more, but I'm being a bit impatient, and as it's only soup, I don't really need to let it get super hot. Super hot. So just gonna chuck that on there. Of oil, knob of batter, stop the oil burning. Classic case when I've cooked with Dutch ovens, it's so easy to burn things on the bottom of it. In goes onions. Then leek. Right, spuds in. I love this little one-man Dutch oven. It's one of my favourite ones for just the one pot meal for just me. I'm going to bring that to the boil and then add some of the seasoning. It's boiling away nicely now. Pretty hot. Just add some stock. Put that in. Pepper. You probably can't see it on the camera, but there's a tiny little cutout of the cast iron over here, a little divot. And if I line it up with this lid, which has a little divot here too, then the steam can come out. There's an arrow as well. There we go. Ooh, that's quite hot. I'm gonna have to move some of this lot. Just realised my spoon is the diddly squat farm spoon. Says there's been a terrible mix-up. Those of you who watched Diddly Squat Farm or Clarkson's Farm, sorry, on Amazon Prime. Got this when I went to Diddley Squat Farm Shop a couple of years ago. Great series, highly recommend. Oh, that's aggressively hot, but the water's not evaporated, which is good. Now I'm just going to add in some double cream to make it thick and creamy. Whilst I am pretty much camping traditionally, I am allowing myself a few modern luxuries, the fire still being one of them, and a inflatable sleeping pad, because I'm directly on the wool blanket tonight, and they're okay. They are alright this time of year, but once it starts dropping down to single figures, you need a big fire to keep you warm, and I'm not going to have a big fire to keep me warm tonight. It's just a cooking fire, so I'm going to have a sleeping pad to keep you warm instead, and a Jack Russell. To go with the soup, got this lovely bloomer, which, I mean, I just follow the natural gaps here, but it just looks so nice. Nice and crusty, perfect for dipping in soup. Massive too, I don't really need all that, but yeah, that's going to be nice. Those wondering about Jack's, because he's not going to have potato and leek soup. He might have a tiny bit of bread, but he's generally not fazed by bread. I brought his dog food with me. There's Jack's dinner. He doesn't like soup, especially potato and leek. That had chicken in, he probably would, but bread he's not really a fan of, so I've brought his dinner with him. He likes the kibble. Jack's just eating his dinner there. Very nice though. Very hot, being that I'm eating it out of the cast iron. That's going to stay hot for a long time. People always say, how come you eat, like you always burn your mouth, how come you eat so fast when you've cooked? And it's because when I'm cooking outside, I'm burning loads of energy, getting all the firewood, prepping it all, back and forward, adding water, all this sort of stuff, sorting Jack's out, sorting the camera out. I burn quite a lot of calories doing it, and I work up an appetite. So I end up wanting to eat my food quite quickly, but I know a few people do get a little bit annoyed that I do eat it so quick for when it's hot. It's just hard to stay patient. Obviously at home, I'm not running around changing camera angles and things like that. I'm just watching the oven. or the saucepan. Let's dip the bread. It has to be done. Yummy. I'm on quite a high protein diet at the moment, trying to put weight and muscle back on from where I had the E. coli a few months ago, sorry, where I was on the old IV antibiotics. Here it goes. Yeah, so since then I was at such a low weight that it kind of worried me a bit, and I was like, no, don't want to be that light or have that much weight loss again. So decided to start putting muscle back on. So I'm on quite a high protein diet, working out and things, and gaining weight, which is good because that's what I need to do. So I'm allowing myself a bit less of a protein dinner tonight because all I eat is meat at the moment. Yummy. Nice. Don't mind me. Darkness is upon us. This is how I sleep on a wool blanket if I'm either on a raised bed or bed of leaves sometimes if it's a bit more mild in the summer. Not so much now. Hold on, Jax, wait. Good boy, wait. What I tend to do is put my mat there. Or again, if I'm sleeping directly on the blanket, I'll just sleep this side. And that way this whole other half, Jax already knows the drill, this whole other half comes around, wait, comes around like that. Jax goes under. But essentially that's what happens. I kind of wrap it round my dog, my body like that. My jacket's over there, but I use that as a pillow. And this is how I wool blanket sleep. If it's winter, if it's autumn, winter, if I'm just doing a wool blanket without the mattress, then I usually get big fire going and lay down fairly close to the fire, but I do have to wake up a few times in the night for that. This is just how we sleep. It's not the most comfortable, it's not like a sleeping bag, don't get me wrong, you do get cold, you do get cold spots on your back sometimes, or if there's a gap. You're well nestled in there, aren't you, Jax? But yeah, that's how I mean, I've got the wrong end of Jax here. That's not going to end well. It's a very still evening. No rain, which is nice. Leaves are falling. I'm hearing the leaves drop onto the tarp. I haven't given the tarp a rain test. I don't know if there's rain due in the night, actually. I think we might have a dry night for a change. The cast iron stove is still burning. You can see the smoke probably coming across the screen every now and then. I'm just using it as a bit of ambient light. I've got my lantern on up there, which I'll turn off in a minute. But I'm really impressed with that. I mean, I wouldn't take it camping with me all the time. It is heavy, but as far as aesthetics and going back in time and traditional camping, it's pretty cool. I think I'll use it more here in the woods over the winter months. But anyway, I'm gonna lay here and listen to the sounds of the woodland, and yeah, I'll catch up with you guys in the morning.
Morning. I've got with me some porridge, very simple, another coffee on the go on the little cast iron cooker stove. I really like it actually. It's kind of a light it and leave it. Don't have to manage it really, tinker around tidying up the wool blanket. I've got to take the tarp down in a minute. There was no rain in the night, which was so nice. It makes such a change. I finally don't have to dry out my gear. And the wind died right down in the night as well, so sleep-wise I only woke up a few times, just a little bit chilly. And Jax was quite fidgety, but other than that, it was quite an enjoyable night. I did debate whether to put fire on this morning and have a fire, but because I was only having porridge for breakfast, I just wanted porridge and a coffee. I didn't really see the need to have a fire and then have to wait for it to burn down and put it all out. So it just makes clear up a little bit quicker the day after. Sometimes when I'm in a rush I'll use a gas stove, but I'm gonna use this a bit more actually, this stove. Oh, it's hot. Halloween in a week's time. Well, actually when this goes out it's probably about Halloween, to be fair, or just after Halloween. And then it's the big build up to Christmas. This is my favourite time of year for camping by far. This woodland in particular, all the green behind me, in about 2 weeks time, if I come back and do another film, it will be totally orange and all the fresh leaves on the floor will be crunchy. It's really nice. Not crunchy to eat, crunchy to walk on. Good boy. Hello. Good boy, Jax. All right. You've chased a few deer, a few squirrel, haven't you? No mice today though, you didn't get any mice. Normally you do get one or two. You didn't get any today. Okay. So to put it out, you bring the wick right down and then blow from the top. Make sure it's totally out, and then I just put the wick a little bit deeper in without it falling in. Just monitor it. Sometimes it can glow for a while and continue to burn, but that looks all right. We'll let that cool down and we'll start packing the other bits away. Well folks, that is it from myself and Jax for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching it. What have I got planned coming up? I've got another multi-day survival kit to use. I'm going to do some beach fishing hopefully with Dad. Maybe we'll do a catch and cook, either if we catch something of size, cook it up on the beach, or bring it back here into the woods and do a catch and cook. That would be really cool. Yeah, all sorts of camping fun. Wood stoves maybe soon when the weather gets a bit cooler. It's still quite mild, but yeah, I'll put links to everything in the description for those that are interested. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe. I've got loads of videos like this, as well as kind of my survival tips playlist or my ancient building playlists, where we'll build structures that were inspired by our ancestors here in Britain. Loads of cool things to watch on my channel. Thank you for watching, I do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.